We know that Excel has a number of functions, in particular it has the sum function, but we see that just to the right of this button it has the symbol of a drop-down menu. The small triangle indicating that I have the AutoSum function, but I can open it, and I get a whole series of functions. Specifically, here in the ribbon that's in Start, it indicates those that might be the ones that we use the most, those that Excel thinks will be the ones that we are going to use most often. We see this average sum, count numbers, minimum, maximum, and other functions. What does more functions mean? More functions means that Excel has a specific window, which is the window insert function. The window insert function that we can access via this button that we have here in the ribbon, or also that we could access by clicking on this button in the formula bar, and another option we have to do so in Insert, etc. We see that it calls up this window. This window is the same as with earlier versions of Excel. In other occasions too, it brings up the functions assistant and is a very useful window. It is a useful window because it allows us to do several things. It allows us to select from a list the function that I want to use at a given point. I might know exactly what function I want and what it is called, exactly how it is written, what parameters it needs, but in general this is not going to be the case. In general we will have an indication, a suspicion that in Excel a given function exists to be able to carry out a given task, and what I have to do is find it. This contains a search feature just for this. The first box is a specific search feature for functions. So if I wanted to add a series of numbers and I didn't remember very well that I have a button in the ribbon, I tell it, I want to add. When I tell it to add, I do a search and it finds a whole series of functions, the first of which, logically, is the sum function that we know. But we see that there are many more functions in Excel that in some way are going to carry out some kind of sum. We have a little measurement that there are indeed many functions in Excel, and logically, we will never know them all. Furthermore, in each version of Excel they add new advanced features, complementary features, and logically, what we need to know is how to find the function that is going to be useful to me at a given point. A good way to do this is like this, calling up this wizard, this insert function window, and searching by keywords. At the time we find or we see, if we suspect that this is the function that I need, I want to add numbers, I want to add these three numbers, I say sum. It finds all these. The first tells me down here, it tells me the exact syntax. Sum parentheses number 1 semicolon number 2 semicolon ellipsis. And it adds all the numbers in a range of cells. That is, if I give it a range of cells, or a set of ranges more precisely, it will add them. I could say, okay, that is what I want. What I do is accept this window, and then I go to the following window, which is the window where I will define the arguments. Here is where I tell it that the number 1 is either a number, or the contents of a cell, or a range. In this case, it is already suggesting what I want. Since I'm trying to inserting the sum function in cell H9, then it is reasonable to assume that I want to add the numbers or the range that contain the numbers to its left. And this is what it suggests in this first number. It is even indicating here that this range is a set. This is why the key is there for number 4.5, number 6, and number 7.4. So we see that effectively this is what we have written here, and the result at this moment, if I hit enter, would be 17.9. Here it gives me additional information. It tells me what the result is, to tell me all of the information it has, so that I am sure that this is what I want or not. I am sure I even have here additional help about this function, in case we didn't know how it worked, and we see that ultimately when we accept, it enters this function with its correct syntax with the parameters that it had suggested but I had accepted, and it gives me that value that this had calculated. In short, we have the insert function. We can also access it by clicking this button, Insert Function. We have a powerful ally for selecting a function at any point, searching for it, and it helps us to find the suitable parameters for how we have to insert it so that it correctly executes what we want it to.